2 Mega Pops is an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6, where you need to place 1 tower down in the mode, and then that 1 tower gets 2 million or more pops from round 6 to 100. It's not an easy feat, but with the right towers placed down at the right time, we'll be able to do just that. So, in today's adventure, we're going to be going for a balloon exclusion zone. Now, let's get cracking. The bears out of all 3 of the Dartling Gunner tier 5s is the most accessible to get because it's the cheapest out of all 3, but I would say it's actually the worst of the 3 when it comes to its performance. The Ray of Doom is just brilliant against ceramics and lots of Moabs, and the Mad is, well, only good against Moab class balloons, but is an absolute treat in order to deal with those. So let's see how we get along here. We are nearly there with the money. We should be able to place the Dartling Gunner down on round 13. Hopefully we'll be able to pop these, target the green ones, and we've only got a few left to deal with. Lovely. So now we can place down the Dartling Gunner and we can get this show on the road. We're going to go to a 320 sub because we're going to need that lead popping power early on in the game. Can't really rely on Geraldo because, well, he gets his Jerry Fires on round 41. And when it comes to the Alchemist, it's not going to be that reliable on a tower that is constantly firing. So I do want some certainty when it comes to these teams. So heat tip darts, and then we're going to get advanced intel, and then we're going to get some motion support so that we will get that camo detection, or that decamification as it were. But alas, we will be going for the middle path because I feel like it's just universally that is the better path. I feel like there's no upside pursuing top path bears rather than middle path bears. Middle path, faster firing and camo detection. The top path, laser shock, and the buckshots don't spray as much. But when it comes to tier 4, that's not going to really matter. Motion support, but we're going to keep it on the playing field so that we'll be able to use it still. Advanced targeting, faster swivel, and then we're going to go to what would be best? Faster barrel spin or powerful darts? We'll go faster barrel spin than powerful darts. We're going to go to the bears anyways, but you may never know. One could be better than the other for a specific scenario. Okay, this Pierce is getting a little bit too much, but I think we can handle the rest of this. Yeah, we can deal with all that. Now let's put the submarine on strong so it only targets the leads. Hopefully. There we go. We may need to keep the submarine out for just that little bit longer. Get some powerful darts on this round, and then after that, buckshots. Alright, round 30, more darts. Sorry, more darts there. More leads to deal with. I still don't think the Dartling Gunner is powerful enough on its own in order to deal with all this. Do I save up for an Alchemist so that it has more popping power, or do I save up for Buckshot for that guaranteed popping power increase? But then again, Buckshot's in its own way is kind of a unique little fella, as it were. It fires them randomly, but you don't know if it's actually going to hit the balloons in question where it's aiming because of the way that it fires its bucks out. Oh, this could be a little bit problematic. Can we get buckshots by the time this comes around? Lovely. And are any of these on the last leg? I've got my mouse up. Okay, I was scared that the other one was also in the last lane there. Don't spook me like that with that one red balloon going towards the exit like that. Because of a slower fire rate of the buckshot, let's just put that down and then hope for the best. We get Berserker Brew and then Stronger Stimulant, and then I think this can actually handle these next rounds or so on its own for the time being. Right, that's got 3,500 pops, but that is only a dent in the ocean of pops that we can sacrifice. Sacrifice for a greater good. Strongest stimulant time is next. Let's see, we may need to take it off lock so that it can fire this manually. With just shy enough money for the strongest stimulant. Let's see, that is all done. Lovely. So now that we've got that in play, hopefully we can just rely on the buckshot now in order to do all of the pops. Because of a slower fire rate than the darting gunner would otherwise have, it means that the strongest stimulant can always be applied because it boils down to either the amount of time transpired or enough shots fired from the tower itself. So I've got a jungle drums in place, which is excellent. And then our next adventure is going to be the bad. And then from there, an MIB, so it can get guaranteed lead popping power. Because we're going to need the MIB so that this thing can handle DDTs. Because not even the balloon exclusion zone can touch DDTs in any way, given way, shape, or form. Let's see, some of these ceramics can be a little bit of a problem. Handles fortified ceramics surprisingly well, actually. The knockback is really nice to have. We might need some Jerry's Fire because of the sheer amount of Pierce on round 49 that we need. Yeah, it's cleaning up some of that excess, which is what we really need it for. Let's see, regrows also to deal with regrows. We're going to put it on target independent. I feel like that is just going to be what's necessary in order for us to complete this. Like, sure, you can focus fire on a particular balloon if you just have it on, like, follow the mouse or lock it in place, but target independent, you can guarantee that it's able to shoot in multiple directions at the same time, although in each direction that it shoots, it will be weaker if it has more than one direction that it's shooting in. And no, I'm not talking about the band. Yeah, the strongest stimulant is holding up surprisingly well, which is nice to have, because in our last video with the Dark Champion, the strongest stimulant was just non-existent. It just was applied and then it disappeared in milliseconds. MIB for that guaranteed lead popping power, and our next venture is the... Actually, we're going to get ourselves an overclock first before considering the BEZ. Let me know what kind of towers you think are very useful support towers to use in a 2 megapop scenario, such as like the submersion support submarine, the strongest stimulant alchemist, Geraldo, a overclock when we get it, an MIB, and for primary towers for primary training and mentoring. How will this fare in round 63? Will we need a Jerry's Fire to keep them bait? No! This is great, actually. Sometimes we really struggle in round 63, but they handled it with ease. Right, we have enough for an overclock now, so once that is ready, this thing's fire rate will be dramatically increased. Although because of the overclock, the strongest stimulant will run out more quickly. Round 70, absolutely no issues whatsoever so far. I feel like when we get close to the money required to buy bears is when we're going to struggle, so we might need some support beforehand so that we'll be able to deal with the rounds later on. But right now, I am comfortable with what we have so far. Alchemist, Overclock, Geraldo whenever he's needed. Like, Geraldo is the ultimate support tower. Aside from rounds 28 and 30 leads, then it's not really much of a support because it can't dish out any kind of lead popping support until it actually gets its Jerry Fire. Round 75 is coming to a close with these last few things left to be exterminated. Round 76, sorry. Let's see how this... Let me apply the overclock, please. I think I was selecting 2 rather than 1. And dealt with it really easily, actually. I'm surprised by how powerful this bad is, the balloon area denial system. I honestly thought that this thing has a sheer lack of Pierce per projectile that it has, but because of a knockback, it kind of compensates for that. Round 78, just a little bit of a hiccup there at the end, but aside from that, no trouble whatsoever. That's going to be really interesting both round 79 because of the amount of regrow rainbows, though. Like, there's been struggles when there's a huge clump of balloons, but then again, you could probably say that for most towers. But I think this tower in particular struggles a lot when there's just a huge amount of clumped balloons together. But you could say there's a huge amount here. But right now, we're doing just fine. I feel like these supporting towers are really beneficial because if it's just the darting gun on a field, it would not be able to deal with all of this. That is why the right support is a necessity in order to get 2 million pops. You cannot just rely on that single tower and then it does that. You can't just rely on Geraldo, place it down at round 6 and lead it all the way up to round 100 when Geraldo was initially released. I remember SJB doing a video on a 1-tower chimp where he placed down Geraldo on Scrapyard, I believe it was, and you use the car crusher thing in order to pop any lead balloons, which requires extremely intricate timings with the glue splats that it puts down to be able to slow certain leads down and then allow others to get faster so that all of the leads would then match up underneath the car crusher so that then it can crush the lead balloons. Until up to the point of round 41 where it's able to get his Jerry's hot sauce. And speaking of which, we might need to apply it soon if we're going to struggle here. But at the moment, still nothing to worry about here. I think theirs is too expensive to be able to pursue Perma-Brew. So in that case, we may need to go to Call to Arms and Balloon Savos, Snowstorms. Anything to slow down the balloons or buff the bad at this point in time. Or the bads. Bads. I do want to wait though to get the bonus Bernie damage on Jerry's Fire before applying it to the ADS so that just give that bonus damage. Otherwise we'll place it on the bads and then it won't be able to do a huge amount simply because of the fact that we can't really replace a Jerry's Fire with a better Jerry's Fire just because of that's how it works. You can't put down, well, you can put down, let's say this one, but when it gets upgraded in the next level, you can't just simply replace it like you would with, let's say, an invisibility potion. It just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Yes, holding beast back really well, nice. So this is still at level 15. Ooh, this could be a little bit problematic, but I think we're going to hold on just fine. We're 10k away from, well, 8k away actually, from the bears. And that's when our popping power will be dramatically increased. But at the moment, we're just going to have to deal with what we have so far with this one tier 4 tower dealing with late game rounds in the well, mid-80s, actually. I was going to say the high 80s, but that's just not the case. Now that Geraldo's at level 16, and the description has changed a little bit, we will now put this down. And we'll be putting down the invisibility potion so that it can shoot out just that little bit further, I believe. Unless that's only beneficial towards towers, which actually has a range, whereas this has a dummy range on it. So maybe we should only apply it for when Geraldo's at level 19 so that we can get bonus damage to camo balloons, which would be very handy against DDTs if it's outside of the range of a submersion support. Round 87 for ZMGs. Are we going to struggle here or are we going to reign supreme? I hope it's going to be the latter where we're going to reign supreme. Ooh, ceramics making it quite far. Ooh, that's a little bit worrying, that little ceramic there. Do not get too far. Oh gosh, there's a lot of them making their way through. Oh, that's very close there. We're going to need some support, actually. Okay, now we need 14k, but I feel like this upgrade is going to be well worth it. Not super glue, for goodness sakes. We don't want that thing stealing pops from the bads right now. Thank you very much. So, it's a small sacrifice, but I feel like this is going to make all of the difference. We now have slow and stun alongside knockback. 3 different status ailments, if you can call them, upon the balloons when the effects are applied. So far we're doing very well. Not a single ceramic has leaked. And that's simply because, well, any glued balloons that are popped are stunned, which is amazing. People sleep on Relentless Glue. 3.5k away from the bears. We are so close to it now. I can almost taste it. 89 is dealt with. Let's see how the Bads fares against the DDT. I feel like we might struggle a little bit here. No. Combination of Jerry's Fire and the Relentless Glue. We dealt with that very well. This knockback is really nice. Like, usually these would be a huge menace, but because of a knockback, it's almost like the Piers, or the lack of Piers, doesn't really matter. But we'll soon rectify that problem. We'll soon rectify our damage issues, hopefully. Once we're able to get enough pops in place, that will be the case. But we are kind of lacking in PS right now. Bears is now up. And our victory is all but secured unless we lock it so that it fires away from the track. Which is not what we want, is it now? Round 92 is going very swimmingly now. But because of the fact we've got this, now the strongest stimulant barely even applies. And we're going to farge a little money now in order to pursue Permabrew. So, Call to Arms is definitely on our agenda. I think a Balloon Sabo is going to be very much needed, especially for like round 98 and 100 and 99 as well, I think. But Call to Arms is definitely reachable. If it wasn't for the MIB, these leads most of the time will block any projectiles, which means the purple balloons as well will just sail through. Which is not favourable to say the least. No, these DTs are getting eaten up by these bucks. 96 is another really easy round. I am really impressed. I was mainly more impressed with the Bads actually, because that held up surprisingly well in this scenario. Like, I didn't expect to get to this point. Like, as I always say, it's not the tower itself as an issue, it's getting to the point of affording that tower. That is the issue. Round 96 is adjourned. Soon we'll be running down these two fortified ZMGs for round 97. That and that. We are just toying with these now. We are absolutely toying with them. So 4.1k pops. That roundabout up to near 8,000. Yes, yeah, about 8,000 actually. So place you there. Place you there. We're going to be placing these two over here. We're going to be placing... Oh, I forgot about the Balloon Sabo, actually. We'll place you down here. And to be honest, I'm thinking a snowstorm if we can afford it. Like, that's going to be 2 lots of slows, 2 lots of, like, any other effects that the snowstorm applies besides the balloons being slowed? I'm not too sure now. Arctic wind... Yeah, this is really easy. Right now, actually. Oh, we may have needed it for round 99. We'll see, actually. Okay, now that that is now at level 20, let's place down the other 2 creepy idols. Now we've got a total of 4 creepy idols. Place the 2 down when it's at level 90, and when its shop completely refills, then place down the other 2. So essentially you've got 4 of these down when the bad is here. A very impressive specimen indeed. So we're going to apply the overclock. Once we peter down the damage just enough, then we will apply the wonderful Call to Arms. No, but it's doing it surprisingly well. That's lovely. There we go. Those will handle that just fine. And a near basic ass Sniper Monkey. Although those who will be missing out on this particular combination of upgrades will be rejoicing in this. So 2,034,000 pops. I am impressed with you, Bears. But somehow I'm even more impressive with the Bads for staying for that long until we can get the Bears. Like, once we got Bears, it was a comfortable victory right then and there. Like, I didn't even make it down towards like the bottom rightmost creepy idol there, I think. Maybe it's just me and my short-term memory at times, but that was really cool. I was thoroughly impressed by that. Put down the creepy idols just with a little bit more support. I like to place them in these 4 locations here so there's some kind of spread within this focal point of where all the pops occur. Yeah, so many ways of slowing down, stunning, knocking back, debuffing the balloons so that they take more damage. Like, put the right support down and you will not have a single issue whatsoever. We did have that one issue on round 85 where that ceramic would have leaked, so this wouldn't count as a flawless chimps run where you go from start to finish without going to the main menu at any given point in time. But that was a pretty chilled 2 Megapops video. Like, sometimes we have to restart multiple times, sometimes we have to retry multiple times. But this one didn't have to retry once, although we needed to restart the round 1 time. Besides the map, a very flawless run. 4 pops, that's absolutely fine. Oh, Garrett, get 4 pops, start over again. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what 2 Megapops towers you'd like me to cover next. The other 2 Dartling Gunner paths, especially the Ray of Doom, I cannot put together a strategy in order to actually get the money together so that I can then purchase them. Because I always feel like I'm like 2 or 3k away, but it would be impossible for me to go through that round just simply because the Plasma Accelerator just does not have enough firepower in order to be able to deal with all of the balloons at any given point in time. Sometimes the amount of balloons just have too much PS required in order to deal with all of them, and too much damage needed in order to deal with all of them to be able to get to the point of buying the Ray of Doom. But I think the Ray of Doom, when it comes to all the towers in the game, has probably the most amount of PS out of any tower, probably besides like Paragons. But anyways, enough of me rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and we shall see each other's in the next time. I'm thinking about doing a video where I cover useful towers that will really help you in order to pursue your own 2 Megapops, because it's not just the tower itself getting to 2 Megapops, it's being able to go through the rounds, being able to buff your chosen tower, being able to slow down, stun, knock back the balloons so that it provides a bit more support for the chosen tower itself, because you can't just rely on buffs. You need to be able to slow down the balloons at any given point in time, so that then you can utilize more of the chosen towers' abilities and stuff like that. Like, the Ray of Doom is one of the most expensive tier 5s that there is. Like, this is... oh, it's just marginally more expensive than the Bears. But this thing is only good against Mob class balloons, so I'm worried about Super Ceramics when it comes to the MAD, but then you could just use its ability in order to deal with those, because I think only by having its ability active can you be able to deal with Super Ceramics. But then again, there's also the fact that you can just have it with the Stronger Stimulant and Acidic Mixture Dip so that it's able to do bonus damage to ceramics. But just because of the amount of rate of fire that it has, they just go almost instantaneously. But a buff is better than no buff, regardless of how long it lasts or how short it lasts. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everyone.